Gosh darn, I do love me some Mario 64. To this day, Mario just feels so great to control. Though I have to admit, it does look a bit dated.
Oh shiz, a DS remake of Mario 64.
With playable Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi? Wait. You can only move in 8 directions? I'm sure that'll work great with this entirely 3D game.
Nope.
Game developers have been finding ways to squeeze every last dollar out of their old games for a while now, and that's not inherently a bad thing. Taking some of our favorite experiences and slapping on a fresh coat of paint is definitely exciting, but sometimes developers can fail to replicate what made the original so special, or in this case, completely fuck up the controls. However you feel about today's remastering craze, I'm here to tell you that not only do game remakes make sense in today's gaming landscape, but they are essential to bringing new life and exposure to old classics that might be showing their age here in Future World 2018. Game preservation is such a fascinating aspect of gaming culture, as its goal is to ensure that games, like other mediums before it, are protected so future generations have the chance to interact with this part of history. And it's for this reason why remakes are so important. By giving older games another spot in the limelight, they can reach entirely new audiences through a different platform install base, players that may have missed out on the original, or just kids that weren't alive when the original was popular. It's really easy to pick out a cash grab from a remake built with some good old TLC, but while talking about this subject, an insane amount of terms pop up. From remakes, remasters, anniversary editions, definitive editions, championship editions, HD, 3D, DX, so many goddamn titles! Okay, just breathe. Okay. So to break up this madness, let's go with 2 categories. Remakes and remasters. Ah, look at that, so nice and clean. Remakes are your more ambitious types. Your Pokemon remakes, your Crash Bandicoot Insaniness, and your not turn-based at all Final Fantasy VII Remake kind of remakes. Instead of starting with existing assets from the original game, remakes build from the ground up with a new engine, possibly new mechanics, new story elements, new areas, stuff like that. Remakes are more focused on taking aspects of the original and blending it with more modern design philosophies to craft more focused and better versions of old classics. Think of them like film reboots. The core content is still there, all nice and new for you to enjoy, but the developers have also taken risks in creating new content or changing old content to craft this particular team's own vision of the original. Remasters are the opposite of that. Take that game you love, change nothing to very little of it, make it prettier, and send it back out into the world. These are your Skyrim Special Editions, your Hyrule Warrior Definitive Editions, and your Bioshock Master Chief God of War collections. And this is where it gets messy again. God, I thought I cleaned this shit already. Remasters also tend to add new content and tweak existing as much as remakes do. Think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Battle Mode, or the Metroid Prime Trilogy's addition of motion controls to the first 2 games. The main distinction between the two being the remasters build off an already built game, whereas remakes start from scratch. Remasters are more focused on bringing the original to a newer, more powerful platform, while maybe fixing some nitpicks here and there. Think of them more like enhanced ports, as a lot of games honestly don't need sweeping changes. We just want shinier pixels, please. It seems like every other week a new remake or remaster is being announced nowadays, and it only makes sense. With graphics technology hitting a peak of sorts, it's only natural that both fans and developers alike see the appeal in remaking the classics, especially seeing how nostalgia is such a profitable business strategy. Some people love the idea of remakes, others find them frustrating as generally people don't like buying the same thing twice. Not to say people won't, as I sit here and realize I've bought Skyrim 3 fucking times already. I'm what's wrong with society. Biggest argument against remakes always seems to be, well, if the developers are making this remake, they're wasting time that could be used to make brand new games. Chances are developers are using this remake process to speed up development for their new games, like Wind Waker HD helping the Zelda team craft an art style for Breath of the Wild, or The Last of Us Remastered helping Naughty Dog learn how to develop for the PS4. A lot of remakes and remasters aren't even made by the same developers of the original. Let's take Metroid, for example. Last year, Metroid Samus Returns was released on 3DS. a remake of the incredibly dated Metroid 2 Return of Samus for Game Boy. Samus Returns was developed by Mercury Steam, whose claim to fame before this was Castlevania Lords of Shadow, which I know nothing about. The game was announced alongside a brand new Metroid Prime game for Switch as well, and the internet just about exploded when we found out we'd not only be getting one, but two brand new Metroid games, but I'm getting ahead of myself. With Prime 4 being such a taxing development cycle, Nintendo knew it would take some time before it's done, and allowing a third-party developer to remake Metroid 2, fans would get another game to hold them over until Prime 4, Mercury Steam gets the exposure of Nintendo's fanbase, and Nintendo gets more time and money to make Prime 4. It's a win-win-win. One of my favorite remakes of all time is a game that most people wouldn't even think is a remake, but I assure you, it is. Star Fox 64!
And I'm not talking about the 3DS remake either. The original N64 game is a remake of the Super Nintendo game.
Same plot, bam. Same characters, bam. Same gameplay, with added tank missions, bam! It's basically the same game with just 4 times the bits. Granted, this game introduced many new elements into the series like all range mode and the previously mentioned tank missions. I don't think my childhood self ever found the way to the submarine level. I was a dumb kid. But it also expanded upon the branching path systems of the original, with hidden paths to new levels, and these additions stayed true to the spirit of the original. Okay, you think it's too big of a stretch. I could see. You think Star Fox 64 is a sequel.
Big whoop, wanna fight about it?
How about motherfucking Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green? A GBA enhanced remake of the original Pogli Red and Blue.
FRLG is one of the first remakes I can really remember hearing about and being excited for.
Not a whole lot of remakes 10-year-old me would know about back in 04. Not only does it have colors, but it rehauls the entire game to play more like the Gen 3 Pokemon games, adding natures, abilities, breeding, and other Gen 3 mechanics. At its core, it's the same as the originals way back when, but with the overhauled graphics, the Gen 3 battle mechanics, and entirely new areas like the Seti Islands. It feels like a brand new experience, or did, I should say. It's almost 15 years old now, but it's definitely improvement from the now 22-year-old black and white original. Though I have heard rumblings on the internet that Pokemon Switch is going to be a red and blue remake,
Which would be awesome.
but the last game I want to talk about is, for one, a remaster, which generally don't do much else other than update the graphics, which is why I don't really want to talk about them very much, but this particular remaster did something very special in this regards. And if the music hasn't cued you in already, I'm talking about Halo Anniversary. In all my years of playing games, I've never seen a remaster quite like this one. Generally, everything is how you remember it from the OG Xbox. Same levels, same enemies, same guns, it's still Halo. Yeah, it looks hella nicer, but it's still Halo. Here's the kicker, boys and girls. Halo Anniversary allows you to switch between the updated graphics and the original graphics with a press of a button. It's that simple. It's like 343 Industries built their remaster like literally on top of their old game, and you can just toggle the graphics on and off like that. It's fucking genius. This allows players to see firsthand how much graphics technology has improved over the years. When the original Halo was released in 2001, it was basically the pinnacle of graphics technology. Not so much anymore. Giving new life to one of the best shooters of all time, Halo Anniversary not only made an almost perfect game even better, but it gave 343 Industries experience with the Halo brand before cranking out the incredible Halo 4. Let's not talk about Halo 5. No split-screen multiplayer, what the fuck? All in all, remakes and remasters have really become a staple in today's gaming landscape, and they only seem to make our favorite games even better, as long as they don't fuck it up. From putting a fresh spin on a beloved classic or simply making everything look better, going back to old games lets developers determine what worked in the original games and to change what didn't. They allow third-party teams to develop remakes of big title games that they might have grown up with, and for developers to learn the ins and outs of a new platform and how they can develop for it. As important as new ideas and fresh IPs are to this medium, game remakes are only having positive effects on the industry and are giving chances to developers to learn and be inspired by games of our past in order to push past the boundaries of what their new games can become. Side note, still pissed about Dark Souls Switch being delayed. Like, they didn't even give a reason. Look at you, you made it all the way to the end. You should congratulate yourself by hitting that like button. Maybe even hitting that subscribe button. Because there's a lot more videos like this coming your way if you hit that subscribe button, and definitely that bell. Hit the bell too. The bell's important. So do that. Okay, bye.